All right. Hi, everyone. This is Shua Lager again, founder of Grace and Hope Consulting. As I mentioned before, in January, we're talking about reinventing ourselves. And I've invited some of the people that I look up to, some of the people who inspired me. And today I have Markeith Braden with us. Hi, Markeith.
Awesome. How are you?
I am well. Hi, can you I
Good,
know you
good.
and I enjoy, being part of CORE, and that's kind of how we met through a business mentorship program, and I enjoy learning from you. But would you mind just introducing yourself and telling our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. I am Markeith Braden of Markeith Braden and Company, where we focus on digital marketing and personal brand consulting, really working with individuals and solopreneurs, or what I would call small businesses and solopreneurs, to leverage digital media and their personal brand to create products and services so that they can have more freedom in their life. I truly believe that either you could use your personal brand to market your business, or you can be a personal brand as a business.
Yes. And it's that idea of personal brand that actually led me to kind of reinvent my social media, approach and strategy. And now, like for 2018, most all my pages have my own name on it. So it was taking you up, following your steps and taking your advice on that. So thank you.
Awesome.
And I've got to know a little bit of your story, just that you share, part of the leadership teams that you do, leadership stuff that you do. And I've come to and just admire how you went from working corporate America and in healthcare, and then moving, being a minister, which you still are, but then using all of that into being a small business owner and reaching so many with how you I love how you combine, or if you want, repurpose all your gifts and talents into everything that you're doing. So would you mind just sharing with us just a little bit, like how you reinvented yourself through the years, and where you are right now, and maybe even what led to all those reinventions, if you want.
Yeah. So my origin story started out as the typical, African-American family where your parents encourage you, go to college. If you can, go to graduate school, get a great job, have great benefits, climb the corporate ladder, and do things the educational route, because to them, it had been proving that that's a successful route.
Mm-hmm.
And I did all those things. I graduated high school, went to college at Kentucky State University, went on to graduate school at Meharry Medical College, and got my master's in public health and health administration, and got a great job in the community health, public health industry. But something started to stir within me very early on in starting my professional career. And after a couple of years, I would get restless and wanted to do something else. And I knew that I was a natural teacher. I knew that I had a gift of speaking and presenting and teaching. And so about 3 years into my profession, I decided that I was going to leave healthcare and go teach high school. Because at the time that I was in healthcare, there was this major push for African-American men to come into the school system, especially in the sciences. And because my background, especially my undergraduate degree, was in biology, I was an immediate fit. And I did that for about 3 years, only to realize that I could not really support myself as a teacher. So I was always working a side hustle, or teaching GED in the evening, or teaching or mentoring outside of that. So I ended up going back into healthcare for about 6 or 7 more years, and I had a very successful career in healthcare, but that restlessness was still going on. And so I had decided before I even transitioned out of healthcare that I was going to really look heavily into becoming a professional speaker and starting a coaching business. And one of the key things that I think is very important for those who are solopreneurs, which I was for quite some time, is that identify what it is that you want to do, and then identify the experts or the people who are doing what you want to do and learn from them. Be willing to invest in yourself. And so that's what I did. I invested in myself, and I hired me a coach who had a full-time coaching business. And by the time that I had finished my contract with that coach around 2014, I was laid off my job, April of 2014. And at that moment, I had an opportunity. I had an opportunity to either decide to, what I say, bet on myself or go back into the corporate environment and do something that I really wasn't truly passionate about, but yet it provided a great living. And so I decided that day that I was going to bet on myself, leverage the skills and my natural abilities, and create something for myself that would give me more freedom, that would give me a greater excitement, that would give me an opportunity to do all the things that I wanted to do those first 10 years of my professional career, so that I could do it all of my latter years. And so that's how I ended up where I am today as it pertains to having a digital marketing agency as well as a personal brand consulting business, helping other people make the transition that I made, helping others to know that, hey, you have a skill and expertise that is marketable when you hone it, when you decide that you want to share it with other people. And even if you decide that you want to keep your 9-to-5 or your corporate career, you still can create another stream of income by leveraging your knowledge base and your skill. And so that's what I decided to do. And one of the greatest things that could have happened, because I believe that you should identify what would be a dream job for you before you make that transition. What is something that you could do that if you're not doing something that you're truly passionate about right now, is there something that you could do as a job, as a career that you're truly passionate about that would bridge where you are to where you want to be? And for me, that was ministry. I had a great opportunity from 2015 up until June the 1st of 2018 to be in full-time ministry, which I always wanted to be. And because I thought that ministry and having my business would work well together. And so for 3 years, I was able to be in full-time ministry as the communications and marketing minister at a local church here in Nashville, which helped me to even more hone my skill of speaking, but also hone my skill in the digital space.
Oh, I just love it. And I love how you say, like, it's in every season, you didn't not just lose hope, but you didn't lose skills. You didn't lose time either. It's like every season was, you had to like own it in that moment. This is what I'm dealing with. This is where I want to go. And then using everything you have, all those skills to kind of move you to the next step. I love that. I love that.
And I grew in skill. My skills matured. My confidence matured. My purpose became even more illuminated in what it was that I had the skill to do. It's so much when we do take those steps of faith, if you call it, but at the same time, and stepping out on faith and then doing it boldly. Like you must have feel scared inside, but you're still doing it because you're called for more. And then the more you do, the more you grow and the more you serve. And I love all of that. So, and, I'm just going to segue here with, being a minister. And I know many times, people think that if you minister, that's all you can be. That's all you should be. And, what I admire a lot about you, it's like like I said, you take all your skills, all that God has, given you, and you use that across the globe. If you want, you use that across every platform that God has, given you. So for people who are thinking, if can only do ministry, how can they merge into the marketplace and still be authentic and still be, true to the calling? And I've seen you do it, and I admire that. And I think some people struggle with that. It's either I have to be in this one box or I'm not fulfilling my calling. Yeah, it all depends on the mindset of the individual. It all depends on whether how the individual sees ministry. And see, I saw ministry more than just parish or more than just the local church. I believe that ministry can be a profession. Ministry can be a career because the Bible talks about the disciples going into all the world.
Mhm.
Well, all the world means a corporate environment. All the world means entrepreneurship. All the world means the highways and the byways. And if the minister only ministered to the folks in the church, then the church in and of itself will be ineffective.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And so I saw my ministry not only within the church, but also in the marketplace. I believed that what I had to offer could be something that might inspire someone in their faith, might inspire someone in their life, because they're able to see someone like me who put their faith in action. See, it's one thing to talk about faith. It's another thing to put your faith in action. There used to be a saying that the United Negro College Fund would say is that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And then they would also convey the message that knowledge is power.
Yes.
And the more and more I mature and begin to understand that knowledge really isn't power. Faith really isn't effective without action. Knowledge really isn't effective without applying it. And so what good is it to be a person of faith and to talk about God and to talk about Christ, but yet not apply or be an active participant in the faith walk?
Yes. It just, it's like sometimes we have, especially in the faith environment, if you want, we love knowing about God and we know him up here, right? In our mind, we have all these scriptures, but then our lives don't always convey that, and we might say that we know God and we trust God, but then we're afraid to take the steps of faith. And then how are we ministering to people outside of church? You're right, because then, if we tell people I have this great God, well, what are the great things he's done in your life, right? Show me, right? Show me, because for us, we might believe what I'm seeing, but people who don't know Christ, it's seeing Christ in our lives that attracts them to the God that we serve. Yeah. Oh, I can talk to you all day. So what are you? All right. So I was asking, what programs do you have coming up, and how can people partner with you?
Yeah, one of the programs that I have that I'm focused on this first quarter is my podcast fast track program, because I tremendously believe that every small business owner and even every solopreneur must consider themselves as a media company. As we move close, audio is going to be where it's at. And having your own podcast makes you somewhat a media personality. And I've been podcasting since 2015 and have not looked back since. It was one of the major platforms that has helped me to generate leads for my coaching and consulting business. And it's just an opportunity for me to create content. Why I chose podcasting was because my natural gift is speaking and presenting. And I can write, but it takes me longer to write than it does for me to just turn on the camera or turn on a microphone and share. And so podcasting has tremendously been helpful to my personal brand business. And I want to be able to share that with other people. And so podcast fast track, if you go to my website, markeithbraden.com/start a podcast, you'll see the information there. And if you're interested, we can get you up and running in 30 days or less with the podcast fast track program.
Awesome. Yeah, and I will also post the link with the video description that people can just click on it and head over there. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to do this with me. And for last words, I thought there's so much wisdom. You have so much wisdom. What will you tell someone who is stuck right now and not sure which way to go in life? What's the next step? Because maybe like you, they're feeling restless, like you used to be, and now you're at the over end of it. What words of wisdom or encouragement can you share with them?
So the words that I'd have, I did a live, maybe last year sometime, saying that stuck really is not a bad place. Stuck sometimes means that you're just in a holding pattern waiting to land. When I was on a plane one time, we had to kind of hover around waiting to land on the tarmac because there were multiple planes coming in. and you had to land at the appropriate time that the guide or the navigators were telling you to land. And sometimes your stuck place is just your opportunity to figure things out so that you land in the right place. And so don't look at your stuck place as a negative situation or a negative experience. You're just in a holding pattern, waiting to land at the right time in the right place.
Awesome. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. I take those words as well and put them into good use.
Awesome.
Thank you again for taking the time to do this. I so appreciate you. And for everybody watching, I will post the link there. I love what Markeith does. He's just wonderful with his work. And if you want to start a podcast in 30 days or less, make sure you click on the link.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, thank you.